Let's restore things.
Welcome back to Let's Restore Things. Today I have a little tiny helper. His name's Thomas. He likes to try to get involved sometimes. I bought metal from the well-known marketplace that everyone finds anything available, and within a few days, lo and behold, I got a letterbox full of these little round billets of steel. I got 8mm, 10mm, 20mm. In all of my life, I've never seen Royal Mail so happy to deliver my parcel. Must have weighed about 15 kilos. You can imagine he struggled up the steps with them. I just got these because I can always use them in the workshop for doing different things. All I'm going to be doing is just machining this down so it fits nicely in between the two crank webs, so I can pull the two crank webs apart with ease using my press. I've got a 20-ton press. Well, it says it's 20 ton, the jack on it is 20 ton at least, but I wouldn't trust it for that amount of pressure really, because it's only one of these cheap ones. For some reason I never pressed record when I bored the centre of this out using a couple of drills. I use those step drills, don't know if you've seen them before, but they've got about 10 different sizes on the same drill shank. I used a low speed on my lathe and was able to get through this metal in no time to a size I can use a boring bar to make the hole the right size for the crank. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage. It showed me cutting the two cuts down the side, so it makes it like a horseshoe shape. This makes it easy for it to slip in between the two crank webs so the pin can be pushed out with ease. As I said previously, I'm not actually measuring things, I'm just making things so they just fit in there. After I just simply deburr everything and cut two slits in it, it's just as simple as that. It's just to take the pressure off so you can separate the two webs together. Right, so what I'm doing now is just boring it out so it clears a little bit easier. So I've got a bigger hole past the actual conrod itself. I did measure the conrods. Don't ask me what the dimensions are. You know, it is just clearance so I can go past the conrod. Here we are, a couple of stacks of sockets on there. I know there's going to be comments about that, you know, but if it works, right? You can see this plate in the middle of there. It works a treat what I've done there. I only want this tool to last for once anyway, so that's it. Straighten the scrap after. With ease, that is now separated. Look at the state of that. Absolutely toasted. No idea what went on there. You can see there is no white metal on there, and every single bearing has gone flat with heat. Conrod would never be used again. Still see some white metal on there. I don't exactly know why it locked up the way it did, but I'm not going to give it any chances when I stick it back together again. I'm pushing the pin out this side. It took a little bit more and I realised I had a couple of nice big chunky bits of plate what the actual press came with, just to push this pin out. And a couple of more final pushes and the whole lot comes out. One nice clean assembly to reassemble now. After a clean up, I started to install the new pin. You need to have this as straight as possible. If there is any deflection on this, you will mar up the inside. And I'm afraid to say it will be game over for the actual crank wheel after that. Using the old pin on top of the new pin, just push down. Make sure everything is well oiled on assembly. This will also help the aid of the pin to go through, but also when the first start up of the engine, you have got oil inside that bearing. You do not want it to run dry because it will be game over again. You do not want another game over, do you? It's one of those common sense things. You need to take it out and check it a couple of times. If it's not straight, it's going to go at an angle, and that's not going to be good for anyone. At any point when you are in doubt, just stop. Just stop what you're doing and just check everything. Because the worst thing you want to do now is to mess the entire thing up. You're going to cost yourself a lot more money, a lot more pain, and it just won't help you later on, will it? Another thing that you have to make sure is how long that conrod pin is. If it's too long, you're going to have problems with that as well. Make sure it's the right length as well. So I'm pushing it as far as it can go because that is how far I want it to be set. You can see I'm just checking it now. Always check all the way through this process. You really do not want one single thing to go wrong on this. Unless it's only a minor thing, like you push a pin through too far, then you have to readjust it again. Every single movement you do on this will harm the integrity of the actual pin itself. Well, the pin to the crank fit, shall I say. I'm not an expert at this, I just do this as a hobby. I've said this beforehand. I'm probably not doing it the way that many people do it, but this is the way I do it. And this is the first time I've ever done it. And I'm quite pleased with the result, to be honest. Never, don't be ashamed to ask anyone for help. You really, I can't hesitate it too much. Just keep checking what you're doing. Check all the time. If you're unsure, ask for help. There's plenty of people who will help you. Now, I haven't said what type of oil I like to use when putting these together, but it is best to use a sticky type oil. You don't want the oil to run out really. You want it to stay in place. Once it's been run, new oil will go in there and replace it anyway. I'm pretty sure in the manuals and stuff, it will say to use 2-stroke oil on assembly or something like that. I find that a little bit too thin for myself, really. Nice sticky lubrication on that. Now, if you're just like me and you own a lathe or a milling machine, you probably come to terms with a lubrication for the slideways. It is quite a thick, sticky oil, so it stays on the actual bed of the lathe. I find that works a treat. It really does. Invest in something like that. I don't know about you, but brand new parts look fantastic, don't they? Especially this conrod. This is the finest one that Intel could do. I can't say this enough, but ensure there is enough oil to help run this for the first time. So I've put the first brush washer down already. This is the main bearing for the conrod itself. Ensure this is doused in oil so much. Do not take the plastic out of the middle. You will have needle bearings flying everywhere. And you probably have to reassemble it with grease in, I imagine. As you can see, just push it down on the actual pin itself. Then that plastic cap retainer comes off. Put the conrod over. Then the other thrust washer. Loads and loads of oil. You can't have too much at this point, I would say. Now, I used an angle plate and a huge block of steel to help me assemble this. By keeping a careful eye and using the angle plate, I was able to assemble this using these items and come out with a result of only 1/2 mil being offset, which I thought was a really good result. It's probably more luck than anything else, or it was a combination of these two, who knows. But in the next video you will see me trying to true these up, and it didn't take me too long, to be honest, and I got it to what I would like. So please take the time and effort And please, just give us a little comment about something. Tell me how you would do this. I know this isn't the well-written way to do things, but my way got my job done. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Push the old bell button and you'll be informed of new projects what I'll be doing. Next one will be balancing or truing. Thank you so much.